Okay. So let's talk about your resume for a second and how we can use Agile for your resume. So the resume is really a combination of format and it's a function of content. I almost guarantee that 99% of the people on the call have resumes where you have 10 or 15 bullets under one of your jobs. You describe what you did and you're very proud of the technology that you used. 99% of all of the tech resumes I see for clients basically have that style. Well, the problem is that that's not the best format to use. So if you don't show that form of a resume to somebody else and get their feedback, make changes, show it to somebody else and get their feedback, and it could be someone in the target company you want to work for. It could be a career coach like myself, but let me just explain why. So number one, if you have 10 bullet points in a row, no one's going to read them. Recruiters tell me they read 3 bullet points. That's it. The 3 items of content, or at least 2 of the 3 items that I will guarantee that 99% of this population does not do a good job with, is number 1, documenting your business results, and number 2, talking about how you manage stakeholders. So virtually every resume I see, clients talk about the technology they've used. And I've seen so many different technology names that I have no idea what they are. But technology for technology's sake, that's not what you're being hired for. You're being hired for a business purpose. Everybody in an organization, I don't care whether you're in finance, marketing, I don't care what role you have, your job is to fulfill the business goals of the institution. So you have to show from a technology point of view, what were the business results? If you can be as concrete as I helped grow the revenue, I helped save costs, I helped the number of man or woman hours in terms of reducing the amount of work required through automation and AI and ML and natural language processing, that's fantastic. But even if you can't quote specific metrics, at least you have to talk about what departments you helped and how you helped them do their job better. So go back and take a look at your resume. If you're not talking about tangible business results, you're just showing off your technology skills, and that's not why you get hired. Unless you're 22, because that's all they would expect you to have. Stakeholder management. I rarely see technology clients where they talk about how they work with their senior management, how they work with vendors. Well, they may mention they have done work with vendors, but how did you manage the vendors? How did you work with people that are stakeholders within your business? How do you manage your own team? Do you do any continuing education? Do you hire them? So this idea that you want to show that you can work with the entire organization is just so incredibly important. My guess is most of you have a reference to maybe that you hire people, and maybe many of you have a reference to the fact that you work with different departments to understand what their needs are and satisfy them from a technical point of view. But are you getting really specific? So the idea to show that you are a people person as much as you can, and you can manage stakeholders internally or externally is just so important. And then of course you have the technical proficiency, which virtually all of my technical clients will nail on a resume. So the whole idea is that if you're not showing your bullets to somebody, if you're not getting a third-party opinion and redoing your bullets, having someone take a look at it, then you're not really capturing the best of you. When I work on a resume with a client, we go through 4 iterations. First, we have a conversation, and we go through 4 iterations. Every single iteration, we're improving the language. Every single iteration, we're building in new business results. I'm cleaning up grammar. I'm thinking about really active verbs to use. I'm thinking about how we can better show the soft skills or the stakeholder management skills of my client. I mean, that's the perfect example. And each time we do this, it gets faster and faster because my client will understand what I'm looking for them in terms of providing me with information. So if you talk about a process of getting a resume done quickly, if you talk about a process of breaking it out into its individual steps of showing business results and stakeholder management and technology, it's a direct analogy, I think, at least in my mind. From a format point of view, let's break it down. You have to understand that you have to get through the HR artificial intelligence systems. You have to understand that a recruiter has 12 to 15 seconds to look at your resume And if you can't communicate your value add in 12 to 15 seconds, they won't read your resume. The whole idea is to basically control your image. So there's ways through content. I'll share two very simple ways through the content of your resume on how you can start to control the image of the reader. Number one, at the top of the resume, you can have 5 to 10 words, which I'll call a headline, which describes what type of a professional you are. And then underneath that, you can have 2 or 3 bullet points to show what success you've had in the past, which makes you the best person for the next job. And I'll show you an example of that. So the idea basically is, in a very quick period of time, somebody can read 3 bullet points and a tagline. The whole point is to control your image. So as you go through the resume, you're constantly controlling your image, and you're constantly building your image to show that you're the right person for the job. Okay. So this is a little hard to read, but I just want to just give you more of a tangible feel of what I just mentioned in terms of the resume. So the top of the resume, we want to make sure you have all your basic information. My guess is 3/4 of you may not have your LinkedIn profile address. That's important. I mentioned there's a tagline here of 5 to 10 words. With this client, we used senior architect development lead, bulge brackets, sell and buy side experience. Those are financial concepts. And then you can see we have 3 bullet points underneath here. And I know you can't read the bullet points, but you can see black. The black is everything that I blocked out that represents hard, concrete, tangible, measurable results on how this professional helped Goldman Sachs, if it was Goldman Sachs, earn revenue. I also mentioned that a lot of people just have 10 or 15 bullet points in a row. Well, guess what? You could organize those bullet points in a much, much more streamlined fashion. So what we did was we picked different themes. So we picked idea generation, and we showed how the client generated new ideas. We picked workflow plan and how the client actually created workflow plans and thought about strategy. We picked another bullet point of execution, and we show how my client basically executed on the different positions. So this is a way to sort of chop up your resume into these different pieces and make sure that it flows really nicely. Not that different than someone who's developing a work plan from a technology point of view and thinks about what every step has to be done, where each group has to, what each group has to be responsible for in terms of its different pieces. So the resume really is a very, very iterative step.